That's it. Can't believe how well that worked. That was fantastic.
Brian's Mobile One.
So in this video, we're going to show you how to use a shovel. Just the head of the shovel is all you need to change the CV axle on a Lexus ES350. It's a 2008. It's a beautiful car. You look down the side, it's got these nice body lines, pearl white. It's awesome. So you definitely need a shovel. That's what I'm saying. What the shovel is for is so that we can shield when we're doing a plasma cutter cutting the CV axle off. The reason why you want to cut the CV axle off is because this carrier bearing is got a pin that goes between it and the engine block, so that you can't slide the whole thing out once you unbolt it. You can see the bolts are out of it. I've got all three, the two side and the top one out. That's a little trickier than you'd think it would be. I've got the CV boot clamp removed, so I pull what's left of the CV axle off. That helps with that last bolt on the back side, because that one's actually really tricky to get off. There's hollow spots in the axle. See, this is flat, and then if you rotate it, it's got a hollow spot. You have to line up the hollow spot with a bolt on the far passenger side, the low one, in order to get that to clear out. Otherwise there's interference, it won't come off. The thing is, you can't get the axle to slide out because it's glued in, and you can't slide the bracket out because it's got a pin, and you can't wiggle it away from the pin because the shaft goes into the carrier, the differential here, and there's just not enough room for it. So normally I'm not about cutting things. Normally it's I'm like, there's got to be a better. It was a redneck way, but the way the dealership quoted him $600 to fix this is to just replace that CV axle boot and clamp. The bad side about doing that, I'm going to go from looking like a redneck right now to looking like a good mechanic, because I want to replace the carrier bearing. The new axle comes with the carrier bearing on it. So if I can get this out by cutting the axle, clearing this out, and then the shaft will just slide right out, then we'll be good. But everything's just bound up at 90 degrees, and there's no movement anywhere. So if we cut one of the members, then the other one can come out. I'm just running a file. I'm turning the wheel so that it rotates the axle, and I'm just making a place to where I can get a good arc with the plasma cutter. Hey, little thing, let me light your candle, because it's sure hard to handle now, because they're around. So far?
Yeah, premium cut in there.
I'm going to knock off some slag. It's impact. It doesn't like being pried. Where's your pride? Alright, let's cut some more.
Alright.
Blows it apart, and then as it comes around it cools, and it looks ugly now. That's tricky. I think it's thicker than what this was intended for.
Probably so.
I was hoping it would blow the material out and away, and just as you rotate it, it's up and on top and sinks back in. See what I can do. I have a hole all the way. Oh, it's hollow! Good news. It's hollow. I just blew a big old hole in it. There's what it looks like when it had hot embers in it. You could see inside of it. It's like that thing's almost apart. It's just it re-welds itself shut. So I'm blown through here, and then it's just totally closed there. That's the trophy shot right there. It's just blown open. It's a hollow tube. That's good for us.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to click like and subscribe.
Ready? There you go. Yeah. Look at what's left of that tip. It's just shot.
That worked. That's what we're doing.
So here's where we're at now. Look at that. Can't believe how well that worked. That was fantastic. I just want to do this all day. It's awesome. It looks like the inside of the differential where the axles meet at the spider gears.
It's pretty thick pipe though. I mean,
Yeah.
thick axle.
It's got some beef to it.
Yeah.
All right, here's a money shot. You ready?
Yeah.
Ooh, it's hot.
You think?
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. Ooh, hot potato. The only problem is I gotta grind all that slag off so it'll fit for the. No, that'll go through the press fine. I've done a lot of these Toyota axles, but never had one. You can see these little pins. So those two dowels right there and right there are why we had all this fuss. We couldn't pull it that far, how long they stick out, in order to get it off. Crazy.
Now you got something to use as a insulator?
Yeah, I got a rag.
That should do it.
Oh yeah. Molten steel versus a rag.
Yeah, every time. Rag wins.
Every time.
Rag wins every time.
If it's wet, which this isn't. Here's the rest of the troublemaker right there. Get that set down. Look at that. Let's compare for length, make sure we got the right axle. Yep, they're exactly. Wait a minute. I'd have to line it up like this. Oh, son of a motherless goat. That is hot. That is so hot. So whereas this one's a pipe with that kind of thickness, heat hasn't traveled all the way through yet. But yeah, that's right. Ooh, looks good to me. It's still just smoking. Whoa. You got anything you want to cook on that?
Yeah, some hot dogs, marshmallows, make some s'mores.
Look at this side. If I'd have cut it closer, I wonder if it's solid. It looks like it goes towards solid.
Yeah, like at the end.
Is this end hollow? Just a little.
Yeah,
that's weird. I'm glad it was hollow where I cut it. If they're gonna cut corners in manufacturing, you might as well make my life easier, not harder.
Mm-hmm. Still smoking.
Yeah, it's still just steaming. We got it dunked in the mop bucket. How am I going to get this to press through? I'm going to rest this on the edge of an anvil and just hammer it. Just bam, bam, bam. It's about to get real. No wonder the dealership shortcuts these and just puts a boot and calls it good. That's crazy.
Got a lot of heat in that.
Yeah. But you need a real special fork or something for this to do anything with it. This is an abomination. It's an engineering blooper. All right, well, let's just keep cutting. We'll just cut the whole everything. Eventually, we'll get to where we need to be. Yeah, like I can hold back enough to make this effective. This video is not sponsored by Gulu. We got this hot. Heat's supposed to help get the sun down. We shouldn't have cooled it so much.
I got an idea.
I need a little glove.
I got an idea.
It wasn't recording. Alright, so we got it braced up here on one side. We got it on the vise on the other. And we're just going to try to whack it. Because this thing, if you look at it, there's no real good way to get in there or hold it. Because it's got this buttress. And then these are all over the place so that you can't grab the side of it here. So, yeah, you do what you can. I would have laughed or scoffed at the plasma cutter business, but
I think when you hit that, that camera's gonna go flying.
what is?
The camera, I think we gotta put right here. Come back from this side.
I think we're good.
Think so? Okay.
Yep. Okay, ready?
Yep.
Make sure there's nothing behind me so I don't backpedal over it and fall. That's been my thing lately. Let's do some test it, see what it does with some vibration. I give up. That was a great idea. That was his idea, by the way.
You know, I'm not an engineer, but I do play one on TV, so.
I see you committed, though. That was some serious commitment. We've got our bracket.
All right, we got 15 minutes.
We gotta clean this out.
15 minutes.
Holy crap, we're cruising. That feels good. It's got some pretty good etching rust. Jeez, that's a mess. Who does this?
Look inside here.
Huh? I don't know.
Is it an O-ring or?
It's some rubber. Hunk of rubber, I guess. It's a little rubber button. I thought the whole thing was. It was just rusted. I need a wire.
You think you hit that with a little force?
I give up. I was into it. Look how bad this bearing is. Look at the rust and the degradation that's in there already. We wouldn't have been replacing that, and then you'd have to do it later anyway. 2 birds, 1 stone while you're there. Anyway, we just got to clean all this rust out. We're definitely going to be using some anti-seize on this. Get the track for this clip out too. There's a clip that goes in here. You got to compress that to get it off. What a fancy job this is.
Now you know why they would charge as much as they would.
$600,
Yeah.
but they weren't even going to do any of this.
Oh,
They were
okay.
just going to shortcut it and do just the boot. Dealership anyway. That's like the easy, quick, and dirty way. That wasn't even the right way. Not that using a plasma cutter's the right way. So this is going to bolt on there so easy. The CV axle, when it's going through here, it totally blocks access to this bolt. I mean, it just barely can get out because it's such a big fat one from the factory. Easy, kind of hard. What the crap, how's this going to work hard? So this fits, but it's like really, it's crazy, crazy tight. It's like it pops every millimeter along the way. That's why the other one was such a bear to get off. It's a good tight fit, it's gotta be, you know, but it does have a securing bolt and it does have a clip on it. That won't come off. I'm gonna have it hang like this over a soft anti-fatigue mat. Just wiggle it. I need another hammer. It's hammer time. That's easy. So you gotta do it. You gotta be able to knock it or press it down. Yeah, I'm gonna clean more rust off of this. So that is tight, even with everything that I've done. You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant, excepting Alice. You can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. Walk right in, it's around the back, just a half a mile from the railroad tracks, and you can get anything you want at Alice's restaurant. That went on pretty good. I think with a little help from some anti-seize. This is what a 15-year-old bottle of anti-seize looks like. The solvent dries up before the stuff runs out. Tune-ups. If you do a lot of stuff like this, it would go faster. We're pretty much going to paint this thing. Nobody should have to cut the axle to get this stupid thing out. They should do this from the factory, but they don't care. They want you to get a new car. They want the cost of repair to be high. Ha-ha! Ha-ha! See? We're there, dude.
Bam!
So we got these little pins. Let's line this up. For all the damage that I did in getting the old axle out, it's completely destroyed, mind you. It's so clean. Everything's done right. Everything's beautiful, the work that we're doing now. Need to remember to put a little grease on that new axle, even though it doesn't have a clip to hold it in, because it's held in by the clip here. You need to make sure that it's lubed for the seal, so you don't tear up the seal with the new axle being dry. Shout out to the folks at Milwaukee for their sponsorship of the Pull-Out Park Challenge, where I got this electric ratchet. We raised I think right at $10,000 for the Glute One charity. And they even mailed me the old check that was in the episodes. Never forget all those guys that rallied around me and showed support, you know, for my daughter, for the Glute One Foundation, and all they've done to help her to not have seizures. I'll leave an end card for episode 3 where that happened. I'm just going to take some grease and just run it all the way around. Anywhere there's a shoulder, I just grease it, so if they hit the seal, it'll just buzz through instead of catching and cutting it. We got momentum. We're getting things done here. I'll walk it in. So as I put this in there, you know, get everything to line up, and then just give it a little rotation. I'll key right up. Oh, that was so easy. So easy. Whenever I do a CV axle, I get to the part where you bash the end of the nut and secure it down tight where it's thin, you know, it's meant to do it. There's a slot, but the slot will be facing onto a wheel stud or something. I'm just like, man, one of these days I'm gonna remember to line that up beforehand and then have it in the exact spot where I want it. So you can see there's a little slot, and I can do this anywhere I want right now. I can land that anywhere, so I get it right between these. That way when I have my chisel to hit it, it just goes pretty. The best way to do this clip is to just turn it this way, just shove it up and it'll expand around like that. And you just rotate it. You just get one side to get in, backed in like that. And you get the other side to catch, and you'll need a screwdriver or pry bar or something. It should just fall in, huh?
You think?
Is it in? I can't tell, there's not enough light. Yeah, it's in.
It's in.
That was super easy when I did it right.
Yeah, did it right the first time, right?
First try. I think that was like the fourth, fifth, maybe sixth.
How's that saying go?
Works 75%. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, works
75% of the time, every time. So torque this to the proper setting, and then once you have it, keep it. That's what I did on the last one.
Works 60% of the time, every time. 17, 18 millimeter, whatever it takes.
Yeah. 17 millimeters. That's the steering protection on. And safety glass. That's pretty good for me.
And we said by 5:15, right? Doing pretty good.
Yeah. Dude, as crazy as I was stuck on that. I was discouraged. I was like, man, you're like, just do it. It's amazing the power of now. Just get on it. Just start now. I mean, it's easy for me to want to do that on car stuff for other people, but it's like when it's up to me.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like, oh, I don't know.
I'm gonna go outside and I'm gonna.
What if it's gonna be hard?
Bonus footage at the end.
All right. You guys want to go off of this one?